You ever have an idea that feels amazing in your head, but when you try to create it, it just sucks? The composition feels off. The colors don't hit the same. Something just feels wrong because it's not what you wanted. Suddenly, the excitement you had at the start turns into frustration. I've been feeling this a lot lately, where I have all these ideas, designs, concepts, videos, but when I sit down to actually create them, there's this gap. A gap between what I imagine and what I'm able to actually produce. For the longest time, I thought the problem was simple. I'm just not good enough yet. But recently, I started realizing something deeper. It's not the gap that's the problem. It's the pressure to be good that's slowly killing the desire to create in the first place. It's something a lot of artists and creatives go through, especially early on. There's actually a psychological reason why this feels so frustrating. It comes from the Dunning-Kruger effect. At the beginning of learning any skill, you don't really know what good looks like yet. So you dive into something feeling confident. But then something shifts. As you improve, even just a little, your awareness increases. You start noticing details you never saw before, and you start comparing your work to people who are way better. And suddenly, your confidence drops hard. This stage is often called the Valley of Despair. It's when your taste develops faster than your skills. You know what good design or art looks like, but you can't create a result on that same level. Instead of being blindly confident, you're painfully aware of what's wrong. This shows up when I'm creating anything. I'll have a strong idea, something I'm genuinely excited about. But halfway through, I start noticing all the flaws. This doesn't look professional. Other people's works are much better than mine. This isn't what I imagined. All that excitement I had just disappears. It creates this constant loop. You start something, it doesn't match your vision, you get frustrated, you stop. This is where most people get stuck, as it feels like you're getting worse, when in reality, you're just becoming more aware of the standards out there. Because every time you're making something, you're not just making it, you're judging it all the time. That's what makes the Valley of Despair so frustrating. But here's where it gets worse. At some point, it stops being about the work and starts becoming about proving something. Instead of creating for the sake of creativity or self-expression, you start creating because of your ego. You want it to look impressive. You want validation. You want to feel like you're improving. That pressure for external validation changes everything. Because now, every project carries weight. If it turns out bad, you feel incompetent. If it doesn't match your vision, it's a failure. You hesitate, overthink, or avoid starting altogether. Maybe you start, but you don't experiment because you want to play it safe. And that's the trap. Creativity doesn't grow under pressure. It grows in exploration. That freedom to just create. The more you focus on being good, the less freedom you give yourself to discover your purpose of creating your art. So I started trying to look at this differently. What if the Valley of Despair isn't something to be frustrated about, but something to expect? Because it signals something important. It shows that your taste is evolving. It means that you recognize quality, that you're on the right path as you are starting to know what you're doing.
To keep creating even when it doesn't match your vision, to be okay with failing and learning from your mistakes. Because that's the only way your skills can grow. I've also been trying to change my mindset when creating. Instead of asking, is this good? I ask, what am I learning from this? Or What am I experimenting with here? And that small shift makes it easier to actually finish things. So if you've been feeling stuck, like your ideas are actually better than what you can create, or like nothing you make is ever good enough, you're not a failure or talentless. You're just lost in that gap between your reality and your ideals. The worst thing you can do is allow the negativity to stop you from creating at all. Because the only way out of this valley of despair is to stay in it long enough and push through to the other side. If this is something that you've been dealing with too, let me know what part of the creative process frustrates you the most right now. If you want to see more videos like this where I break down creativity, design, and share my thoughts, give this a like and subscribe. I'm documenting my creative journey on this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.